Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Newsline World. I'm Dia, presenting a real fact news from the newsroom. Today, I'm telling a real fact about the Titanic's behind story. The Titanic was a luxurious British-built steamliner that sank at around 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912. It struck an iceberg and over 1,500 members of staff and passengers were killed. Now onto the details. On Wednesday, 10th April 1912, shortly after 12 noon, RMS Titanic set sail from Southampton's White Star Dock on her maiden voyage to New York. Her commander was Captain Edward J. Smith, RD, RMR, who had arrived early that morning in preparation for the Board of Trade muster at 8 a.m. As commander or senior captain of White Star, he often commanded the newest vessel in the company and was the highest paid ship's captain in the world in 1912. Titanic launched on May 31, 1911 and set sail on its maiden voyage with 2,240 passengers and crew on board. On April 15, 1912, after striking an iceberg, Titanic broke apart and sank to the bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean. Most of the ship remains in its final resting place, 12,000 feet below sea level and over 350 nautical miles off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. Its famous story of disaster and human drama has been and continues to be recounted in numerous books, articles, and movies. Titanic has been recognized by the United States Congress for its national and international significance and in many ways has become a cultural icon. The disaster also resulted in a number of memorials around the world. In the United States, there are major memorials in Washington, D.C. and New York. The Widener Library, Harvard University is another major memorial commemorating Henry Elkins Widener, a victim of the sinking. The Titanic, built as an unsinkable ship, hit an iceberg and sank on April 15, 1912. Over 1,500 people died in the maritime disaster while 705 individuals survived. A number of the victims and survivors were famous people. The Titanic had sunk more than an hour earlier, but the Carpathia rescued 705 people in lifeboats. The ship returned to New York City on April 18. The actions of Rostorn and the Carpathia's crew were credited with preventing further loss of life, and Rostorn was awarded a U.S. Congressional Gold Medal. Titanic, the ship was built in the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Ireland, before setting sail to pick up its passengers in Southampton, England. "She was fine when she left here" is a standard Irish refrain which is still used in Belfast today when conversation turns to the subject of the tragic Titanic. Captain Smith was involved in another disaster the year before the Titanic accident, involving a sister ship of the Titanic called the Olympic. Titanic, it took around 26 months to build the ship. Approximately 3,000 people helped with the construction, some of whom died in the process. Key features of its construction include 10 decks, 3 main engines, a 100-ton rudder, and 2,000 hull plates of rolled steel. The hull was held together by 3 million iron and steel rivets. The estimated cost of building the ship was $7.5 million in 1912, around $198 million today. Titanic, a megalith of human hubris, Tragic loss and significant class disparity lives on in collective memory and artistic representations, reminding people of a tragedy that reverberated through the centuries to still be discussed in modern times. Encyclopedia Britannica. The ship's crew and third-class passengers suffered the greatest loss, with 710 deaths in the third class and 700 among the crew. In the decades following the sinking of the Titanic, the tragedy has been documented with gripping stories, films inspired by the events, and extensive research, including underwater footage of the wreckage. Some 111 years ago, the Titanic sank into the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. The 882.5-foot-long ship disappeared beneath the ocean in the early hours of April 15, 1912 at about 2:20 a.m. Accommodation on Titanic was luxurious and spacious. In first class, there were many new attractions such as squash courts, a Turkish bath, a gymnasium, a barber shop, and also the first swimming pool on board a ship. Even the cheaper third-class cabins were a better standard than those on other liners. Titanic provisions. What food came on board? Hefty provisions included 75,000 pounds of meat, 11,000 pounds of fresh fish, 40 tons of potatoes, 40,000 eggs, 7,000 heads of lettuce, 10,000 pounds of sugar, 250 barrels flour, 36,000 apples, 1,500 gallons of milk, and 15,000 bottles of alcohol. Thanks for being with us. Keep watching our Real Fact News online. Comment, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned. Allah Hafiz.